Hey, I'm Nicholas Prom,
I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
and you're watching Posers Must
Posers must
Die!
die!
Hey guys, what another week we have experienced in real time. Uh,
hmm
and yes, um, let's just get right into it. Uh, we've got a couple of album reviews to open the show with. Uh, First off, with the brand new release from MOLDER, Catastrophic Reconfiguration. Dylan, do you want to take the lead on this one, man?
Yes, yes, sir. Man, I have been so excited for this. This just came out a few days ago. These guys are from Sherwood, Illinois. They're like death thrash sort of mixture, and I think they have a couple albums before this, but these guys released one single from this album, just as a little wet the palate sort of thing, and then they released this a few days ago. And my God, what a fucking album! This shit is so fucking good. This is exactly the kind of stuff I love. This is what I want when I see an album with this cover art. Okay? Because
yeah.
usually when I see an album that has art this badass, it's like slam metal or something.
Oh,
And I'm
boo!
not crazy about that shit at all, but this was like mwah. Oh my, oh my. Um yeah, and I have other thoughts, but I mean, what were you guys first
You know,
thoughts on this?
I had heard a little bit of a Mulder previously, and earlier this weekend I went but listened to their other albums as well. But this is really really good death metal, and I don't tend to like the stuff on the gore side as much. But these guys, I'm like, wow, it's like this really captures some strong old school vibes. I mean, it sounds a lot like Autopsy uh,
Mm-hmm.
with maybe a little bit of pungent stench in there, maybe and maybe some Swedish stuff. But this is just really excellent death metal. I really cannot. If you're a fan of this subgenre at all, I mean, stop stop listening to this or stop watching this and go check this out. Like this is great.
I agree completely. I actually heard a bit more obituary and autopsy, but I was asked Dylan earlier, like, hey, you think these guys like obituary? And uh, yeah, I think I could rest on that one. Just like you said, just it's a smattering of classic death metal all around. And I was excited for it to come out. Like Dylan said, you got a little amuse bouche with that one track, and then yeah, I was ready for it when it finally hit, and yeah, two thumbs up.
Yeah, way up. Uh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
this is a terrific record. It's really good. I've listened to it a bunch this weekend already, and yeah, it's good stuff.
same man. I put this through a few times. I wanted to say that the vocals really sound like Pestilence to me.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Um, and I just wanted to make a note. Like, I think I've realized, I love thrash. That's probably my favorite like main metal genre.
yeah,
But anything that's like thrash mixed with something else is like my shit. Like
yeah.
death thrash, black and
Yeah.
thrash, crossover. Though that's the fucking shit I love. So when I looked these guys up and I was like, this is like death thrash, and I look it up on Metal Encyclopedia and it says death thrash, and I'm like, yes, yes, give need more of that in my life.
Yeah. Um, if you do need more death thrash, I recommend kind of exploring the Brazilian scene, because that's like so much of what comes out of South America is just is this death metal or is this thrash? It's very like kind of like
Hmm.
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
sick ass blend. I mean, and there's so many bands. I think I hooked you up with that Atomica album. That's another prime example.
Oh yeah,
But
dude,
like,
that album kills.
yeah, but Sarcophago and Sepultura and Volcano and Tormentor and just like and on and on and on. There's all these bands. Um, a great region for that particular sound. So yeah, but yeah, this is great. Do we have any more stuff to talk about this album or?
Well, just for anyone that is gonna go check this out and just wants to like skim a bit, you know, because sometimes people do that. I'd recommend the title track, "Catastrophic Reconfiguration." I recommend the track "Pulped," "Frothing," and then I love the track at the end, especially the title "Nothing Left to Ooze." I think that's a really fucking good title.
Yeah, give me some puns. Give me some puns in a death metal song. And these guys like to do that. I looked at some of the stuff on their other albums. I'm like, you guys are like a little cheeky. But that's cool, you know. But no, yeah,
They also like the Tom T. Warrior ooh.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff. Really good album. Do we want to talk about another release? This didn't come out super recently. It came out earlier this year, but I think it was before we started the show. And we referenced this band so much. I feel like it would be weird if we didn't come back around and talk about this album. It's Morbid Saint's newest release, Swallowed by Hell, their third album in about 30 years. And holy shit, dude, this is totally rips from like start to finish. This album is rad, totally rad.
I wasn't paying attention. I have a playlist. Had it going, and it started up, and it was so vicious, so beat you over the head, thrash-tastic. I thought it was German.
Yeah, I mean, this just rips, dude. Like, wow. What a great record. I was talking to Jason a while back, and he's like, you know how I sweat the most recent Possessed album like really hard?
Oh, yeah.
And I was saying like,
Yeah.
dude, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is actually like the best album. And Jason feels that way about this record. And you know, I kind of I'm not ready to go that far, but I think the three albums from Morbid Saint are all on pretty equal footing as just being like killer thrash albums. Man. Dylan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, they definitely took some time to cook this one up, and it kind of took me by surprise when it came out. You know, like, oh shit, new Morbid Saint, what?
Yeah.
What world are we living in? But yeah, this is great fun. This is just a great fun fucking thrash album. Very good. My only complaint, I would say, and you know, unpopular opinion here possibly, I think the very first song is kind of weak.
Oh,
Rise from
really?
the Ashes.
Oh,
I wasn't crazy about it, but every other song on here like rips pretty fucking good.
Oh, okay. I really like that opener, but that's cool.
I especially liked Burn Pit.
Yeah.
And Fear Incarnate. Those were my two favorites on here. And I wanted to say, like, you know, understandably, this is recent Morbid Saint. It sounds a lot more like Destruction System than Spectrum of Death.
Yeah, I'll give it that. But it's kind of a progression over time. Even though Destructive System, it finally saw release in 2015, but it was supposed to come out in 1992.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, okay.
Yeah, so you know, it's one of those stories of like, you know, independent artist, and I don't know the full background on it, but this happened to a lot of bands. You know, there's a lot of stories. I'm like, oh yeah, we ran out of money in the studio, or we finished the record but we couldn't pay for it to get it mastered, or we broke up right after record. You know, all kinds of stuff, and so this stuff languishes for a long time until you know they can maybe get it out. But I mean, Destructive System and this, I would say, worth the wait. Holy crap. Morbid Saint is just really, really incredible.
I look forward to hearing the next one somewhere between 9 to 25 years from now.
Sad but true.
But yeah, and of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this album cover art by Ed Repka, who, you know...
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, like, so many classic thrash and death metal albums, you know, bear his art. And I just... it's a sign of an album I want to listen to when I see his stuff. And I usually love anything that somebody has hired him to do the album cover for. It's a certain type of group, like old school death metal or really killer thrash. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a gimme. But yeah, terrific album.
Hell
Yep.
yeah. Stamp of approval from Posers Must Die.
Yes, for real. But yeah, so Dylan, you and I went to a show last night at the Blackwater. We saw four hardcore bands. Do you want to pull up the flyer, Dylan?
Nick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Would you pull up the flyer, please?
Geez. Oh, crap! Here it comes.
All right, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. You froze for us.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So anyway, this was the Blackwater. This weekend was celebrating their 25th anniversary. It was 2 nights of shows. The Friday night show was like Hellshock and Disturbed and a couple other bands. We didn't go to that. That show was sold out. But last night we were there and we saw the Bymarks, Long Knife, Alienator, and Malakili. Dylan, you saw Malakili before. How would you compare their performance last night with the time you saw them before?
Yeah, they're still hold up pretty much the same. I'm not sure. I may be wrong about this, but I think they changed their vocalist. I don't know if maybe he cut his hair, or maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah.
But the vocalist last night looked different.
Yeah, he may have changed
than
his
the
look.
last time I saw them.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
enough about them to
Maybe I
confirm
had
or
one too many
deny.
beers.
But that could have been it too. But they were great, excellent punk. Really enjoyed them, and so happy I finally got to see Alienator again. I missed their last show. Dylan, you were at that one. Jason and I saw them back in I think May or June, and which was a killer time. And they just destroyed once again. And so glad I finally got to see Long Knife. But Alienator is kind of a tough act to follow as far as like intensity, So, that was.
Yeah, I wasn't there or anything, but man, dude, Alienator brings it every time. Every time I hear somebody talk about him,
Man, they are a must see live. Holy shit. They are extremely entertaining. You talk about high energy, like damn. And just really kick ass. I mean, like, I think they're one of the best hardcore bands in America right now, or if not the world. They're just awesome. Yeah, and Long Knife ruled. I mean, I was so happy to finally see Long Knife. I really am a fan of them as well. And then the Bymarks, who I knew nothing about, and I came in totally cold. I didn't get a chance to hear them before. They were great, man, excellent stuff. And they've got a bunch of stuff on YouTube, which I'm gonna check out now because they were really cool. Dylan, how about some thoughts on this show?
Yeah, dude, this was a killer fucking night. I'm Alienator and Long Knife in one fucking show. Goddamn, and one after another, like that was heaven right there. Hardcore.
Oh man.
And I was happy to see Malakili. I do like them, and the Bymarks. I kind of was. They played at the end, and I was kind of losing a little bit of energy there, but I still very much enjoyed the Bymarks. They put on a great fucking performance.
Yeah. And they did some weird.
Yeah, I mean, when I fucking really love Long Knife, so when they were playing, I was right up front.
Oh yeah. No, they were great. And Bymarks were cool because they like kind of slipped like, hey, let's do a medley of like some Bathory stuff and some Black Sabbath stuff in with our songs, and that was fun.
Oh,
yeah. They were doing stuff from like Bloodfire Death, which was really cool, and dusting off some like deep cut like Ozzy era Sabbath licks, yeah, it was really fun. And they were great. I knew nothing about this band, but now I'm like, oh, I want to go and hear their albums now because I really enjoyed them. But yeah, this was a great night, man. And happy anniversary to the Blackwater. Here's to 25 more years at least, because we love that
Hell
place.
yeah.
So Blackwater rules. So yeah, definitely great place, great place. But yeah, why don't we transition into our regular segments, starting with Chase's classic album. And Chase, you chose Fear Factory, Soul of a New Machine.
That I
From
did, 1992, Fear Factory's first full-length album.
yeah, I gotta
Shit.
say, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No,
Okay, I really, it had been, I know I'd heard this before, but it had been such a long time, and obsolete and demanufacture are kind of like the default of what I think most people think of when this band. I forgot just how like full on death metal they were on this debut album. I mean, it's straight up death metal with some industrial stuff going on, right? And later they get like more, they lean more into that as they go on. But this is just solid stuff. I listened to this a bunch over the weekend, and yeah, man, I kind of forgot that they were like this early on.
Man, I was like, should I throw this one here? I don't know if this is gonna straddle the line, but I was like, no, fuck it, I love this album. We'll talk about it. We'll
Yeah.
make a meal out of it. I was right. No, fucking yeah. Straight up death metal, a little bit of light industrial, like you said. Dino plays guitar and bass in this, and he kills it on both. I mean, it's like that early Los Angeles death metal. Can I say that? Can I really say that and mean that from the bottom of my heart?
I mean, I can't think of another LA death metal band, to be honest.
They did a four-way split with a couple other area death metal bands, but none of them really went on to do anything. I can't recall who they are off the top of my head. If you go to Encyclopedia Metallum, check out their first entry on there, it's all there, and that split is on YouTube. If you listen to it, it's all death metal. It's all good.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, Soul of a New Machine. Let's talk more about that.
And on this album, Burton
Seabell.
Voice is Burton Seabell. His voice is still in that pupa stage, Cookie Monster sort of area. But as the album progresses, he gets more. I want to say he gets more serious with it, but it levels out and sounds more like more growly. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and there's not much of his or any really of his clean singing on this record that I could recall.
Not much.
But it's interesting as it's like as they went on later, the guy has a beautiful, deep like bass or baritone voice, and juxtaposing that, going back and forth between death metal and that, it's really interesting, and I think it kind of helped them make their unique stamp in the metal world, and they kind of led the charge as the kind of the global metal scene shifted in the 90s. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, interesting stuff and a very cool record. Dylan, thoughts?
Yeah, well, I have quite a few thoughts.
Oh, good.
I've never listened to Fear Factory. I know of them quite a bit because I have a friend that is obsessed with Fear Factory. It's his favorite fucking band of all time. And I always hear a lot about them from him. And he sent me like one or two songs in the past, and I heard them, and I was like, I guess they were like later shit. But I'll admit, I was like, oh man, what am I getting into, here with Fear Factory? And I go and I turn on this album, and I'm like, I start to listen to it, like that first song, the very beginning. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then that song, Martyr, that song fucking actually gets into it, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is a fucking good album. God damn. And I'm disappointed to I read comments on YouTube of people I don't know, I guess sad that Fear Factory no longer sounds like this. And it's like, well, shit, what? Why would they? I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. This is a really good fucking album. I really
Yeah.
liked it. Martyr is a good fucking song. Scapegoat's a good fucking song. Crash Test is a fucking golden song. And Suffer Age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my picks from this album.
Yeah.
I think self-immolation was the one that people latched onto on this one, but
Oh
I couldn't actually
yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Fear Factory has made a new fan, and this kind of makes me want. This kind of makes me want to go back and like check out Demanufacture and Obsolete again. I haven't heard those in forever. So, you know,
You should.
yeah, at the very least, I want to go back and listen to Edge Crusher again because I liked that song. You know, I know that's kind of late in the game, and you know, nu metal had arrived at that point, and so it's kind of in and out of that kind of area. But that was just a really good song. I just I don't care, you know. Um, but yeah, no, this is a really good record. I was kind of I scratched my head a little bit at the choice, but I was like, all right, we'll run with it, and I'm glad we did. So thank you, Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick, buddy.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to Dylan's Demolition?
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Dylan's
you-
Demolition this
yeah.
week. Carnage, 1989. Their demo, Infestation of Evil. Fuck. I mean, I already love Carnage.
Yeah.
But, I saw this demo pop up in my recommended. I'm like, ooh, that's the one. That's
Hey,
the one.
There you
And,
go.
I mean, there's 2 songs on here, but it's like I'm pretty sure both of these are on their Dark Recollections album. You know, the one that everyone knows.
Yeah. The album.
Really fucking good. Straight from the torn apart, like right at the beginning. It's just that Carnage all the way.
Yeah.
Good fucking death metal. You guys, what are your thoughts, fellas?
You know, I like Carnage, and you know, it's basically, I mean, Carnage is basically Dismember with Michael Amott. Okay, but this is early enough.
There
It's actually, well, no, and I'm not even joking. It is basically Dismember with Michael Amott. But this is early enough. It's actually before Matty Karki takes over on vocals. So you know, but and he sings on the Carnage album. But yeah, I mean, this is cool stuff. I mean, it's just great classic Swedish death metal. You know, yeah, I mean, Dismember are one of the titans of that scene, and I think fans of that sound would be doing themselves a disservice if they overlook Carnage, because it really is the embryonic Dismember.
Yeah. I was never really into Carnage. I was more of a Venom guy. But no, don't do much.
I mean, me too.
Okay, anyway.
Um,
But no, it was it's first and foremost, I appreciated that we jumped back into like a more murky, muddy demo sound because the last couple were kind of clean. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, clean production or anything, but I just appreciated that in this. And I don't really have a whole lot to add other than track 2 felt like it belonged in the Evil Dead soundtrack somewhere in the background.
Ooh, I could see that. Yeah, yeah.
Those are my notes.
Okay.
Well put.
I like it. Yeah, great demo. Excellent pick, Dylan. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think that means it's time for Hardcore Hall of Fame. And this week I chose Sick of It All's debut EP. God, I said that weird. Debut EP from 1987. This is, I think, my first New York hardcore pick for this segment. I like Sick of It All. I'm not. New York hardcore is not always my favorite because I think. How can I put it? This is the you know, kind of like New York hardcore is a lot of that really tough guy stuff, which I'm generally turned off by. and later Boston hardcore is like that too. But quality is quality, and Sick of It All are a great band, and they are one of those bands that can hang with all the crossover bands. They can hang with pure straight hardcore. They really are a great group, and this is a really excellent release. Highly recommend it. I think all or most of these were re-recorded and then put into their or on their debut album, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears, I believe. And but yeah, they're a great band. I don't have a whole lot more to say about that, but Sick of It All is excellent. I would say I would put them as like essential, hardcore that isn't 81 stuff. It's like where we're getting into that next wave of stuff in the late 80s.
Gotcha.
What did you guys think of this?
Well, I knew it was going to turn out good because you started off with a quote from Aunt Petunia's favorite nephew.
Oh yeah, it's Clobber. Yes, the title track is called "It's Clobbering Time," and New York guys. I mean, it's a New York character, of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And you knew it was going to be a fun time, and it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was great shit. Great fucking picnic.
Thank you.
Picnic. But no.
A hardcore really picnic. Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. I just did really like it. I listened to it quite a few times.
Same.
On repeat, actually.
Oh.
About 3 times. But
oh wow.
I really enjoyed it. And the only thing I really have to say is, who's there? Leave me alone. I'm dancing.
But yeah, no, terrific record. Yeah. Gosh, are we ready to get into our song of the week, guys?
I believe so.
Okay. Oh, I'm first. Okay. My song of the week is USA by The Exploited from their 1982 album Troops of Tomorrow. The song is also known as Fuck the USA, and I present this without comment. Do you guys know this one? Do you have any thoughts on this song?
I love The Exploited.
Yeah, they're rad.
I'm not entirely familiar with The Exploited. I had heard a couple, I want to say EPs back in the day, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you who they were.
Oh, okay. Well, something to check out, Chase.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just great British, street punk, crust punk, hardcore, I mean, if you like GBH and you like English Dogs and Discharge and the like, this is right in that wheelhouse. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love The Exploited, but I had never heard this song, and you sent it in the chat, and I listened to it. Good fucking pick, buddy.
Yeah. Also, Destruction do a cover of this, and that's worth checking out. Their version's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So that's just another note. But yeah, I think we got Chase. What is your song of the week, bud?
Mine's from Bad Religion. It's 21st Century Digital Boy. I believe this is one of their more mainstream sort of songs. And I remember listening to KUFO back in the day and hearing it and thinking it was pretty good. But it just this was in my head because my son had recently made some friends with some local kids, and I went on a little play date with them, and just watching those kids being glued to their little devices and stuff, that song was in my head because
okay
tablet kids being dumb as bricks. Was just watching that happen in real time. I was like, ooh.
Okay.
I know how to read, but he's got a lot of toys. Yeah, like, oh man.
Okay. Yeah. So this was like anyway. Relatable content for you. I get it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I have never heard this song, but you posted it in the chat, and I listened to it, and this is an instant win for me. I think I listened to this song like 4 times in a row today.
Oh wow.
Huh.
I really like it a lot. it,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm younger than you guys, so like, but I kind of grew up with this sort of like, I don't know, what would you call this, like pop punk maybe? I
It's
don't know, sorta.
it's getting there. I mean,
Yeah,
they're older than the guys who started that kind of that subgenre,
yeah,
but but yeah, I mean, my thing about Bad Religion is like I respect them while not really digging them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna qualify that statement. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum here. It's just kind of like there is a certain vocal style in from some punk bands that I kind of don't care for, and it's this vocal style.
mm,
Okay.
Social Distortion employ the same style,
Mhm.
and there's a little bit of that in Rancid too. It just kind of like I feel like punk vocals should have like a bit of an edge, not necessarily a
yeah,
rough sounding, but like something, you know. And this to me, it's like it sounds like Fisher Price punk with these vocals. Um,
Okay.
so I'm not a fan of that. But I do respect them, and
Okay.
you know, c'est la vie. I used to have a couple of tapes from Bad Religion, and including this album. Although I don't know what this image is because that's not the album cover, uh,
that's
but
the one that was on the video. I don't know.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but
uh,
it's not that big a deal. But yeah,
well, yeah,
it's fine. It's
I,
fine.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm younger than you guys, and like this is, I like this kind of like poppy punk sort of sound. Like this is the kind of shit that was on the radio when I was growing up, and like people would
Yeah.
use this in like the early days of YouTube. They would use songs like this on their fucking videos using like shitty video editors and stuff. So
Oh
this just
right,
kind of
Yeah.
is nostalgic. This is a nostalgic sound for me,
sure.
Oh.
despite never hearing this song before. I don't think.
Okay.
It just kind of brings me back. It reminds me of my younger days.
Okay.
Oh.
Uh,
Cool.
okay. Uh, and then Dylan, what about your song of the week?
My song of the week is "Crush, Kill, Destroy" by Sarcophago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good old Sarcophago. And speaking of that Brazilian sound that we were talking about earlier, man, sick shit.
Yes,
You like that death thrash vibe? Here it is.
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
These guys are pretty much the kings of that sound. So,
Yes, this was my introductory song to Sarcophago. I love
oh really?
Sarcophago now.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of their shit, but this was the first song I ever heard by them, and I let this one simmer in the pan for a while when I first heard it. Like this is good fucking shit. And then I went
Hmm.
on to their other stuff, but
Yeah.
this one always will have a special place in my heart. Very good tune.
Nice. Roll right on. Yeah, and it kicks ass. So yay. Yeah. Um, well, okay. I think we've just got some upcoming shows to mention. First up, this Friday, November 15th, there's Iron Maiden, Rat, and Faith No More tribute bands playing at Dante's, and that should be some fun. That's kind of an odd bill, but you know, we love Maiden. I love Rat. I don't know about you guys, and I have grown to I have a growing appreciation for Faith No More. My boss, that's his favorite band, and so I hear Faith No More quite a bit at work. And yeah, they are way more than the song Epic. Let me tell you, they have
Epic.
so.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they have some really great stuff. And so yeah, no, that's cool. Faith No More is great. Um, uh, so this should be a fun time at Dante's, which is a great spot. Um, then of course. Coming up very soon on November 24th. Chase and I will be attending the King Diamond show at the Keller Auditorium with Overkill and Night Demon in direct support. That's going to be awesome. What a time.
Well, I cannot wait.
Oh, man, I am so jazzed. We're going to have a great time. I think that's like 2 weeks away. Can you believe it?
2 weeks away. Yeah.
Oh, man. So good. And then, yeah, that's going to be great. A few days later, Massacre and Pessimist will be playing at the Bossa Nova Ballroom on the 27th. Still hoping I can make it to that one. I'm not entirely sure. I do love Massacre. So that would be great. And they just dropped a new album, which we'll be talking about next week's show.
Yep.
So yeah, stick around for that. And of course, 2 days later, on Black Friday, I Am Morbid are headlining the Devastation Across the Nation tour, or of the Nation, or something like that tour, with Suffocation, Uwada, Fulci, and a couple other bands. This is going to be wow. You will have a full tummy full of death metal if you go to this program. That's going to be a good one. And I really want
have
to.
a good time.
Yeah, I really want to go to this because I love Dave Vincent, and he is just the greatest voice and frontman in death metal. And so I'd love to see him and Commando Pete again. That should be a really cool show. And Suffocation is great. I got to see them with the original lineup years back. Terrific. This is going to be a killer show for all who go. Will have fun. But yeah, then of course December 4th, Exodus, Havoc, and Dead Heat will be playing at the Hawthorne Theater. Chase and I are going to be at that, and that's going to be a rager. Holy shit. So excited to be seeing the mighty Exodus again.
First
Gonna
time
be
for
off. What's that? First time for Chase. First time for
me. First
everything.
time for me, yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a blast, man. And then December 7th, there is our boys Atomic Terror will be playing at the High Watermark. This is looking like it's like pretty much an all thrash show. We're playing with Battle Cattle, Versipal, and Violent Insurrection. This is all like thrash or death thrash, something like in that vein. That's going to be a killer time. And then, of course, December 13th, Oxygen Destroyer will be playing at the High Water Mark with Contusion and Hemorrhoid in support. That's going to be a sick night of death metal. I'm definitely gonna be trying to hit that up. Should be a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chase, why don't you hit us with the sign off, baby?
Okay. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and get up off your ass and toxic waltz.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.